Hello, beautiful beings of love and light. Today we are talking about back pain and downward facing dog. So if you, like me, many years ago are suffering from back pain, you may find that the downward facing dog is one of the most challenging postures and is not for no reason. Not only is downward facing dog an inversion, it also requires arm balance control and also extreme core control and lengthened hamstrings. So if you have any type of compression in your spine, any discs that are herniated, bulging, sciatica, radiculitis, and you are not extending your spine in downward facing dog, there is a high probability that you will experience some pain. Spinal extension is one of the key foundations for a healthy spine yoga practice and any movement throughout your life for that matter. So when coming into downward facing dog, if it is just entirely too painful for you altogether, then instead try Balasana. And you can get into Balasana very simply. First begin in a Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet separated, hips width distance apart, abdomen drawn up and back, and ribs down. So already you have the low back curvature filled in, so you straighten it out just a little bit. Roll your shoulder blades back towards each other, but then notice if the ribs flare out and pull them back down. Bring the chin tucked back and down just slightly, so that you also create some space in your cervical spine or your neck. The intention is for all of the vertebrae of the spine to line up or stack up on top of each other. Most of us, when we're standing naturally, are in what's called an exploded state, right? Our shoulders are back, our tailbone is back, so it creates a very large curvature in our low spine, which just takes all of the pressure from the torso and pushes it down onto those lumbar vertebrae. So drawing the abdomen back, tilting the tailbone down just slightly. It's not an over-exaggeration that will bring you into sway back position, but just so that everything comes into one line. Inhale and reach your arms up. Maintain that position. So notice if your body wants to flare out again and draw it back to that midline. Reach up as high as you can and notice how that creates some space underneath of your ribs. Again, draw the abdomen back, the ribs down, the tailbone down. There's a slight engagement of the glutes. Shift your weight into one foot and then kneel with the other foot, maintaining that long spine. Bring the other knee down so you're just in kneeling position. You're going to exhale and simply lower your hips down and lower your arms down by your sides. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky, right? We still want to maintain this extension in the spine as we hinge forward. So reach your arms up and with your abdominal muscles, draw your thighs closer towards your ribs or your ribs closer towards your thighs, leaning forward, but maintain the length in the spine. So if you begin to round or curve the spine here, inhale and come back to straight, check in with your abdomen, draw your ribs down, and only allow your spine to come down in one piece, not rounding, right? Maintain that extension. If you can't keep the spine nice and long, widen your knees, maybe even put a block or two underneath of your seat so that it can support that height. Bring a block into either of your hands as well. Extend the spine long and keep it reaching. Place the hands down only as the spine is long. So the blocks can be as high as necessary to keep that length. Right? This is extension of the spine. It's nice and long. Keep pulling the abdomen up and back and the ribs down toward the pubic bone. So if you stay here in Balasana, you are engaging spinal extension. Place the blocks so that they are flat, so they're not going to shift or fall over on you. And if you'd like to try coming into downward facing dog, lift the hips slightly, walk the knees back so that they're parallel, tuck the toes. The whole time the spine is long. And then on your exhale, lift the hips up. So you're going to draw the hips up from the abdominal muscles on your exhale. And then inhale, lower the knees back down. Again, try it. Exhale, draw the abdomen back and up, press through the palms, and then lower the hips down on the inhale. So you're just coming from Balasana to downward facing dog, trying to keep the extension in the spine. That means keeping the spine nice and long. What tends to happen in downward dog is that we think our legs need to be super straight. And then our spine begins to round and curve, right? The more we straighten the legs, the spine rounds. It's going to be very painful for you. So bend the knees even more than you think you should so that the spine is able to stay in extended position. Another part of a yoga sequence when you have low back pain is moving from downward facing dog or Balasana into a forward fold. So lower the knees back down to Balasana, let the forehead rest or hover with the core and bring the arms to the low back. On the inhale, lift your torso up in a straight line. And then exhale, bring the hands down to the heart center. If it is too challenging and your spine rounds when you go to step forward into a forward fold, then do the opposite of what we did to come down. Shift your weight into the opposite knee now instead of the foot. Bring the opposite foot back down to the mat. And then on your exhale, shift your weight. Again, your spine is still long, lengthened and extended the whole time. Shift your weight into the heel of this foot, press into it, and step together. So now you have yourself in a standing position. Your spine has been extended the entire time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Then we can come into a forward fold the same way we did when we were on our knees in Balasana. Bend the knees first. Send the hips back over the heels, right? My spine is still in one straight line. And I'm only going to come as far forward as I can, maintaining the length in the spine. So the further forward I come, the deeper my knees have to bend to maintain that length. The more I try to straighten, I need to round. And that could create a lot of instability and pain. So bend the knees so that you give the spine a chance to open and stay lengthened or extended. And then allow the ribs to come down towards the thighs. This is chair pose essentially, right? Utkatasana. From here, just breathe. Feel what it feels like to keep that spine long. You're still bringing the tail down, the abdomen back, and the ribs down. Spinal extension is the key point to alleviating pain so that all of the discs are still stacked one on top of the other. Keep bending the knees, sending the hips back behind you. And then eventually you can allow the whole torso to round and hang if there is no pain. If there is pain, simply come back down onto the knees, sink your hips back over your heels in Balasana and allow yourself to rest. So we're going to put all that together in a sun salutation for your low spine. Bring the hands back behind you. Inhale, lift the torso up. Exhale, bring the arms down by the sides. Inhale, come up to kneeling. With the opposite leg this time, press into the right heel and come up to stand. Inhale. reach the arms up. And then exhale, hinge forward at the hips, bending the knees as soon as you need to. Inhale, halfway lift. Here's where the length comes back into play. And then exhale, bend the knees, place the fingertips down, lower both of the knees down to the floor, scoot them back a little bit, sink the hips back over the heels in Balasana. And then if you'd like to try a downward dog, lift the hips, tuck the toes under, exhale, lift the hips up, lengthen through the spine, and inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift the hips up, inhale, lower down. One more. Exhale, lift the hips, keep the knees bent the whole time. Inhale, lower down. Untuck the toes, bring the palms to the low back. Inhale, lift the torso, lift the arms. Exhale, lower the arms down, spine is long the whole time. Inhale, lift the hips, step forward with the left foot, press into the left heel, and rise to stand. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, lift the arms up, and exhale, hands to heart. Trying with a full sun salutation. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge the hips back. Keep the spine long as you fold forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Palms come to shins. Shoulder blades back. Long spine. Exhale, bend the knees really deeply. Place the palms down. This time, right leg comes back. Kneel. Left knee comes down. Hips down to Balasana, child's pose. From here, we're going to roll forward into a baby cobra. So straighten the spine, come through tabletop, and then lower the hips slightly. Let them fall down and reach for the floor. If you have a rear-facing herniation, cobra, baby cobra should feel really good on your spine. Keep drawing the shoulders back and allowing the hips to lower down further towards the mat. Exhale, bring the hips back over the heels in Balasana once more. Inhale, bring the hands behind the back. Exhale here. Inhale, lift the torso and the arms up. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, lift the hips, spine is long. Exhale, step forward with the right foot. Inhale deeply. Send that breath into the discs of the spine. Exhale, press into the right foot, step the left foot together. Inhale, reach the arms up, and exhale, hands to heart. You can alternate legs, stepping back and stepping forward with each round. I hope this helps you. Make sure you practice the bug every single day. Bug is an excellent preparation for training your body to come into spinal extension so that there's muscle memory that develops so that you know how to build and maintain that contraction of the core, stacking all of the vertebrae, drawing the abdomen back and the ribs down. It's like a mini crunch. I hope this helps you. Please try it if you do experience any back pain in downward facing dog, and let me know how you go. If you have any other questions or questions specific to your unique body, your unique pain, there is relief, there is hope. Don't give up. Keep doing the things that work for you to help support you to feel better. That's all this life is about. Loving yourself enough so that you do the things that help you to feel good. I love you, but it's most important that you love you. I'll see you soon, beauties. Thanks for being here.